The rain began at sunset. By midnight, the village of Al-Mazrah had disappeared beneath a curtain of black water and screaming wind. The narrow dirt roads turned into rivers of mud, and every house locked its doors before the electricity failed completely. Inside the old stone house at the edge of the village, Karim sat beside a flickering oil lamp, listening to the storm claw at the walls. His grandmother had warned him never to stay alone in the house during heavy rain. "The well wakes when the sky cries," she used to whisper. As a child, Karim laughed at the stories. Every village had legends. Old women invented monsters to scare children away from dangerous places. The abandoned well behind the house was probably just deep and unstable. But tonight, with thunder shaking the windows, the memory of her voice crawled through his mind like insects beneath skin. At exactly 1:13 a.m., someone knocked on the door. 3 slow knocks. Karim froze. Nobody visited during storms, especially not this storm. The knocking came again. Thud, thud. He grabbed the lantern and walked toward the door. The wooden floor creaked beneath his feet. Every instinct told him not to open it. But curiosity won. He unlocked the door carefully. Nothing. Only rain and darkness. The wind pushed icy water into the house. Karim lifted the lantern higher and stepped outside onto the porch. The village road was empty. Then he noticed the footprints. Wet footprints leading from the road toward the back of the house. Bare human footprints. Karim stared at them, his heartbeat slowing into heavy dread. The prints were too large, unnaturally long, as though whatever made them had stretched human feet into something wrong. Lightning flashed across the sky. For a fraction of a second, he saw a figure standing near the old well. Tall, thin, motionless. Then darkness swallowed it again. Karim slammed the door shut and locked it. His grandmother's stories returned in fragments. A man once fell into the well decades ago during a flood. Villagers heard him screaming for 3 days before the sound stopped. When they finally looked inside, the body was gone. After that, strange things happened whenever storms arrived. Animals disappeared. People heard voices calling from outside their homes. And sometimes, someone knocked at the door. Another knock echoed through the house, this time from inside. Karim turned slowly. The sound had come from upstairs. Thud, thud. He backed away, gripping the lantern so tightly his fingers hurt. The second floor had been empty for years. Nobody went there since his grandmother died. The knocking became scratching. Something dragged across the ceiling. Karim forced himself toward the staircase. Every step groaned as he climbed higher. The air grew colder with each movement until he could see his breath. At the top of the stairs stood the bedroom door, half open. Darkness waited inside. The scratching stopped. Silence swallowed the house. Karim! The whisper came from the room. It sounded exactly like his grandmother. His chest tightened. Karim, help me. He stepped closer before catching himself. No. His grandmother died 2 years ago. The voice came again, softer now. Please. The lantern flame trembled violently. Then the door creaked open wider by itself. Inside the room stood a woman facing the corner. Her white dress dripped water onto the wooden floor. Long black hair covered her face. Karim, she whispered, come here. Every muscle in his body screamed to run. But the voice sounded so real, so painfully familiar. He took another step. The woman's head tilted sideways with a crack. Too far sideways. Bones popped beneath skin. The lantern flickered, and suddenly, the woman stood directly in front of him. Not walking, not moving, just suddenly there. Her hair slowly separated. Beneath it was not his grandmother's face. It was a rotting mass of gray flesh, with a mouth stretched from ear to ear, packed with broken teeth and muddy water pouring endlessly from its throat. The thing smiled. Then it opened its mouth wider, far wider than humanly possible. Inside the darkness of its throat, Kareem saw something moving. Hands. Dozens of pale human hands pushing outward from inside the creature's body. The lantern exploded in his grip. Darkness consumed everything. Kareem ran. He stumbled down the stairs, while the creature crawled after him across the ceiling like a spider. Wet hands slapped against wood above him. The front door wouldn't open. He pulled desperately at the lock, as the thing giggled behind him with his grandmother's voice. When you open the door, its fingers wrapped around his ankle. Ice shot through his body. Kareem kicked wildly and broke free, crashing into the kitchen. He grabbed the largest knife he could find and turned around. The creature stood in the hallway, its limbs bent backward, its neck stretched impossibly long. Water pooled beneath it, carrying the smell of rotten earth. Then the creature spoke again, but now dozens of voices emerged together. Men, women, children, all whispering at once. Hungry. The walls began leaking black water. Floorboards trembled. Outside, thunder exploded so loudly the windows shattered inward. And from the backyard came another sound. More footsteps. Hundreds of them. Kareem looked through the broken window toward the well. Shapes surrounded it. Human figures soaked in mud, standing perfectly still beneath the rain. Their empty white eyes stared directly at the house. Villagers. Dead villagers. The ones who disappeared over the years. One by one, their mouths opened, and together they whispered, "Let us in." The creature in the hallway suddenly shrieked. Its jaw split apart completely. The dead outside began walking toward the house. Kareem ran for the back door. He didn't care about the storm anymore. Anything was better than staying inside. The moment he stepped into the rain, the cold nearly stopped his heart. Mud sucked at his feet as he sprinted toward the road. But the village was gone. Not empty, gone. No lights, no houses, no mosque. Nothing except endless darkness and rain. Kareem slowed, confused. Then lightning flashed again. He wasn't standing on the road. He was standing inside the old well. The stone walls rose around him like a grave. Water reached his knees. Above him, the tiny circle of storm clouds seemed impossibly far away. Panic crushed his chest. "No," he whispered. Something moved beneath the water. Hands touched his legs. Then more hands. Dozens of cold fingers wrapped around him from below. The dead villagers emerged slowly beneath the black water, their pale faces rising upward with empty eyes and bloated skin. At the bottom of the well stood the creature wearing his grandmother's smile. "You opened the door," it whispered again. The hands dragged Kareem screaming into the darkness below. By morning, the storm had passed. Villagers found the old house empty. The front door stood wide open. Wet footprints covered the floor, and behind the house, beside the ancient well, there was one fresh set of footprints leading away from it. Bare human footprints, too large, too long, as if something wearing a human shape had walked on.